Welcome back to Simple Start Homeschooling. In this final lesson, Laura and I are going to be discussing this question. What if homeschooling isn't working for us? Or my child needs extra help?
In reality, most everyone needs extra help in a given area at various points of their learning. But sometimes it's more than just a little extra attention. Whether or not you use the public school system, some of your taxes are used to support that school system. And it's 100% acceptable for you to check with your district homeschooling liaison to ask about qualifying for extra assistance for your child.
I know a little boy who was flagged in all 5 areas at age 3 or 4 at his early childhood kindergarten screening. The district offered him free assistance for 2 years, and by first grade, he was mainstreamed and doing great.
Asking for assistance is not a personal failure for you or for your child. It's actually quite the opposite. Getting the extra help as soon as possible can help your child thrive in the future. Again, we want to encourage you to be your child's cheerleader, their advocate for success. There are resources that are available to you, and you want to take advantage of as many of them as you can to help your child flourish.
My personal experience with a child struggling academically was with our youngest child. When we started homeschooling, our older 3 had already been in grade school a few years, and they each had learned to read. So when we began our homeschooling journey, I just anticipated that our 4-year-old daughter would quickly pick up on reading like the others. She was smart and excited to learn. But as kindergarten passed and then first grade, she was still struggling with reading. We knew something just wasn't right. It isn't long into first grade that a child needs to be able to read basic instructions just to be able to do their class assignments, yet she couldn't. We had her eyes checked, and the eye doctor said her eyes are fine. But it was shortly later that we learned that it's not uncommon for one or both eyes to have weak muscles, just like you would have a weak arm muscle. This is not an intelligence issue, but a muscle issue. And if that's the case, the eyes will not be able to track together. We brought her to Minnesota Vision Therapy and found that her eyes couldn't track together at all. Her left eye was reading one word and her right eye was reading several words to the right. How does the brain even compute that? We learned that many kids are actually misdiagnosed with ADD or ADHD or even dyslexia when really they just have weak eye muscles and now have gotten far behind in the school system with their learning. Not because they didn't want to learn, but because they physically couldn't see the sentence clearly. Minnesota Vision Therapy offered us a 9-month program tailored to Michelle's needs, where she met with a coach 1 day a week and then would have 10 to 15 minutes of eye exercises to do at home each day. That 15 minutes a day changed her life. As I've done homeschooling consulting, I've had several families choose to homeschool because their child was struggling with reading. When I suggested that they may be tested at Minnesota Vision Therapy, it turned out that each one of them had a weak eye muscle. That was the whole problem. The only reason they were struggling was because they literally could not see the complete sentence. As they tried to read, their eyes would skip words or whole sentences.
After my sister strengthened her eye muscles, she still needed to catch up with some of her academics, but she excelled and she flew forward. By the time high school and college textbooks were required, it was still somewhat difficult for her to read and not have her eyes get super tired. So my parents chose to use programs where there was an audio track that went along with the textbooks. So it takes some of the pressure off of her eyes and out of reading. She was listening to the words at the same time.
Today, she is an avid reader, and I'm so impressed with how hard she has worked to overcome that weak eye muscle. I'm also so grateful that we had chosen homeschooling and put in the time and effort to figure out what was hindering her reading abilities and how we could overcome those obstacles.
Homeschooling at times may feel overwhelming, and it's super important that you take it 1 year at a time, or sometimes just 1 semester at a time. Even if the initial idea sounded great for your family, you might find that your kids miss being in school every single day with their peers, that it's better for your relationships to not spend that extra 1,600 hours together, that you have dreams that fit well with traditional school systems. We love homeschooling, and we believe it can be a great option for any family and any student, but you still get to decide what's best for your family. And if it turns out that homeschooling isn't it, that's not a failure either. You can always change the plan to private, public, or charter, although we don't recommend using that as a threat. But you can legally enroll your child in your district public school system any day of the week any month of the school year.
I have vivid memories of thinking, this is hard for every one of us. However, when those moments hit, that's when I would relook at the schedule and dream bigger about how to adapt our homeschool to our current feelings and attitudes. Winter in Minnesota can be long, especially if you stay inside a lot, which I like to stay warm and cozy. So maybe we needed to load the family up in the car and drive to a relative's home in another city or state and do our schoolwork there. Or maybe we needed a change of scenery. Sometimes we'd go to the library, grab hot chocolate at the coffee shop inside, and do our schoolwork at the big tables or in the comfy chairs.
Or if it was nice outside, maybe we needed to get blankets or towels, pack picnic baskets, do our work at a local park or near a lake for the week. I'd choose to get creative because I had the freedom to do it. Remember, every child is unique. What might be a good fit for one might not be a good fit for another. One learning style might be different from another. One might be extremely visual and love colorful worksheets and goes after them with a hunger, while another has a keen imagination, would love to have you read about the Middle Ages while they draw knights in battle.
We won't sugarcoat it. There will be hard days. There may even be hard seasons. Your kids may need extra help from the school district, or you may question your decision. Again, take it 1 year at a time, one semester at a time, one day at a time. The effort is so worth it. The return on your investment is worth it. But in the end, you get to decide what is best for your family. For me, after my faith and my marriage and having these 4 amazing kids, this decision to homeschool was the best decision of my life. And now I'm reaping the rewards of those 14 years of hard work, enjoying life with this wonderful family and who they've become. Homeschooling made an incredible impact on each of their lives, and it will in yours too.
As we wrap up this program, we pray that this has greatly encouraged you and removed the fear of failure out of your homeschooling plan. We created a brief bonus video with some bonus resources to help answer the question, where do I go from here? So make sure you check that out. See you soon.